What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It's good to see both of your faces and to see the comments from everybody else. Aaron, I've got a wallet ready that you're going to tell everybody about, and I'm excited, man. Go ahead. I'm glad to see you guys. Take it away.
Yeah, glad to be here with both you guys. And we did miss last week's AMA. I wasn't feeling the greatest, and overall, I wasn't around too much last week. So definitely making up for it this week, though. We've had a couple of voice chats, and obviously we're here on the AMA now. And yeah, we've got a lot of really bullish developments to present to the community, and quite a lot to talk about today.
Happy to be here, guys.
So let's get right into it. A lot of major topics to talk about today. So yeah, the first thing, just to kind of add to what I was just saying there, I think it's really critical that we have strong communication with the community. And I think that us doing regular voice chats and Telegram is a great way to achieve that. So it's just a great way for the team to communicate with the community and the community to be bullish together. And, if there's any concerns or questions, it's best to get the answers directly from the team. And, I think that's, going to be a strong point of having regular voice chats, just to, really keep those communication lines open. And, I've always mentioned that, I always want to hear suggestions or, community feedback on everything that we're doing. And, that still remains true. So yeah, it's a voice chat would be a great place to see you guys and hear your guys' voices and, get your opinions on what's going on. So let's jump right into the alpha. So we've been, I'm going to go over a couple of things that we've already discussed in voice chat, because I know some people haven't, weren't able to attend we've had voice chats the last 2 days. And again, we're going to continue having them in the future, but those aren't recorded just because they're more casual and they're, we're just kind of, just having casual conversation with the community. But there was quite a bit of stuff talked about, so I'll try and touch on all that on this AMA. Let's share my screen. So what we got here is called BookSmarter. This is a smart contract-based wallet that basically makes it extremely easy for any users to set up their own crypto wallet, through BookSmarter. It is a full-blown crypto wallet, and interact with all the different aspects of the book ecosystem. So, this has only been around for a couple of days, so we're still building out some of that functionality. But what you can do with it right now, and I'll demonstrate for you guys, is you can log in. You can set up a passkey once you've already logged in with Google. But so if you're a first-time user, you're either going to log in with Google, which is preferred, or with your email address. So I'll just go ahead and jump in with Google. A little pop-up comes up, and this is all handled by Alchemy, by the way. So we are working really closely with Alchemy and their whole account abstraction infrastructure to facilitate this and to basically be able to deliver this in a super secure, safe, production, tried, tested way for you guys. So that's kind of how we were able to put this out as quick as we were able to, just because we didn't have to handle the security side of things or all those things that really take a lot of resources. That's all offloaded to Alchemy, right? So we're basically just, for the most part, just building the front end. I mean, there's obviously a bit more to it than that, but yeah,
it was very easy to get started, Aaron. It was pretty much flawless to get registered.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking there, so it might have looked like it was a long process, but yeah, I literally just clicked Google and I clicked on my account and I was right in. So that's going to be the process for all you guys. As long as you have an email account or you have a Google account, you're basically going to be in seconds. I see we got some questions in the chat. I'll get to those in a second. But yeah, let's just go over this real quick. So booksmarter.xyz. I'm going to drop that link into the chat here for you guys. So basically, what you can do with this wallet at the moment is, for one, anybody can get onboarded into the book ecosystem. All you have to do is basically just click to log in with Google, and you're in. You'll have a smart contract address generated, which shows right here. Here's the address. And basically what you're going to be able to do in the near future is you're going to be able to on-ramp with fiat directly into the smart contract wallet, which will be amazing for new users. I know a lot of our community is veterans in crypto, so they already have all their methods of on-ramping ready to go. And I mean, it's going to work great for that purpose as well. I mean, you can basically send BNB or any supported asset to your wallet address, and you'll see it show up right in your assets list on BookSmarter. And so beyond being able to on-ramp, we're also going to build in the very near future the ability to swap. So you're going to be able to, basically fund your BookSmarter wallet with, say, BNB or USDC or USDT, or basically any of the popular coins, and you're going to be able to instantly swap that to any of the Book ecosystem assets. And on top of that, of course, we're going to integrate BookUSD. So you're going to have access to BUD staking. You're going to have access to BUS staking. You're going to have access to borrowing BUD with Book. Basically, like all the different things that you can do within BookUSD are going to be able to be done right within BookSmarter in a super simple, easy to understand way. And the other advantage of that is that we can tie in a lot of like the smart contract wallet advantages into that whole flow that I was just talking about. So, for example, if just say somebody sends 10,000 USDC to their BookSmarter wallet, and what they want to do is they're a stablecoin investor, let's say, we can have it so that because it's a smart contract wallet, we can bundle transactions together. And on top of that, we can already are sponsoring gas for all transactions. So basically what that translates into is you could have a guy that's just, he just wants to earn on his stable coins. So all he has to do is log in with his Gmail account or his Google account and transfer in some USDC or on-ramp some USDC. And then we can have our system in a single transaction without requiring any BNB. They could zap or swap from USDC into BUD and stake that BUD in the stability pool, all in just a single transaction that doesn't cost them any gas.
That is huge, sir. That is
huge. Like the user experience on that is just unbelievable, right? Like if you compare that to having to set up MetaMask and having to write down your seed phrase and then having to figure out some company that you're going to on-ramp with, because there's no on-ramps built into MetaMask, or maybe there is, I don't know. But, just to have all of that under one roof with a simple Google account login, and then to be able to get into your investment in a single click, it's insane how much easier that is. And how there's just so much less risk to the user, right? Because there's no seed phrases to manage, no scams where they're going to trick you into giving the seed. Like that's all taken care of with the smart contract wallet and the Alchemy backend. So very, very, very powerful stuff. Let's see if we can get through some of these questions before I get into too much more of the alpha. Hey, Richie, Crypto Mischief, what's up, buddy? Book Nation cooking hard, that's for sure. Almost first there, buddy. Looking forward to this one. Dev Aaron has alpha every week. Woohoo, I'm more than ready for it. Just released BookSmarter wallet. Is awesome. Yes, sir. We got a question here. Is liquidity on BUD looking okay? I've noticed some sellers bringing the price down a lot, briefly below the 90-cent range due to the liquidity looking low. So this has been discussed in the past. The reason that this happens is that the liquidity is largely concentrated in the areas where BUD should be trading, which is, I know like the liquidity that I set up is basically into like the 96 cent to the $1.04 range. So I think a lot of other people are also following a very similar range for their BUD liquidity. So when the price drops out of that range, that's when the price can start to like really move a lot faster, right? So that's the reason behind that. And, something else that I'm going to talk about later in the AMA is redemptions. But, with redemptions, there's no reason for the BUD peg or the BUD price to drop drastically below $1, right? So the redemption system combined with having liquidity that is thick until about 96 cents, that combination basically allows any BUD investor full access to liquidity if they're looking to exit the position or, whatever they're looking to do. And I think this is a follow-up question here. Any plans to increase the liquidity to prevent these high price impacts with BUD selling and buying? So, once again, just to go back to what I was just saying, the liquidity is concentrated in that range. So the only time that you're seeing those big price movements is when it falls out of that range. But, when it falls out of that range, if you're looking to get out of a BUD investment, you can use redemptions to get full value for your BUD if BUD is trading below peg. So, we're always looking to increase liquidity on BUD. And actually, while we're speaking about that, I was talking to a bank teller earlier today about the smart contract wallet, and he was really pumped about it. And he actually had a great idea that I'm going to be implementing pretty soon, which is to really have like a section focused on BUD and just stablecoin investing. And, kind of just to go back to what I was just talking about, having someone able to just transfer USDC in and just zap in to the BUD USDC LP or zap in to the BUD stability pool staking, all in a single transaction. Super, simple to understand, easy to understand your position, easy to get into. That's going to be huge, right? And I think that's one of the things that book ecosystem needs right now is more investment into BUD, right? Because BUD has been hovering a little bit under peg for a little while now, and it makes it a bit more difficult if guys are looking to leverage up their book positions. They want to sell BUD to buy more book. It's not that easy to do that when it's below peg. So, but yeah, with everything that we got going on, and I'm going to explain how it all connects together a bit later in the AMA. But I really feel that book is going to do well, which is then going to trickle down to more borrowing, which trickles down into BUS being worth more, which then makes BUD staking pay better. So it's all everything's intertwined, and it all works together really well. So
one thing that you said, Aaron, I just want to add to it is you quite often said that there are some people that come in that just want to invest in the stablecoin portion of the platform, and to create a wallet to where they can zero in on the product that they're seeking. You are 100% correct. That is huge. That's going to be very good.
Yeah, definitely. Right. I know there's some confusion, I think, in the community related to this, right? It's perfectly normal and healthy to have these stablecoin investors come into the book ecosystem, right? That's how we were there was a lot of guys that were leveraging the ability to borrow BUD and use that to accumulate more book. But you can only do that if you have somebody on the other side of that equation that's saying, hey, I want to invest in BUD, but I'm not borrowing it. I'm going to swap for it, right? And that's the balance that you need. And that's what the whole BookUSD ecosystem, or the BookUSD protocol, is built around, is managing that balance and incentivizing that balance to be met, right? And that's, again, we're going to talk about redemptions in more detail a bit later, but redemptions are a very critical part of that entire balance. And that's why we haven't seen BUD trade under, say, 96, 97 cents for an extended period of time, because we have that redemption system working flawlessly to ensure that BUD, not only is BUD backed by book, but it's guaranteed to the point where you can take one BUD and convert it to $1 worth of book. Without that ability, the whole entire system breaks, right? And I know some guys are not happy with what's going on with the redemptions, but I mean, it's a very natural part of the whole ecosystem working and all the moving parts working together. So let's get through the rest of these questions, and then we'll move on with the smart wallet. Let's go, Chads. Yes, sir. Sitting in the YouTube library with book in hand. Greetings, y'all. Always good to pick up a good book. Gaz, what's up, buddy? Good to see all three of you. Yeah, I mean, after missing last week's AMA, it's definitely great to be back at it, and happy to have Peter and Nick with me on this one. So.
Oh, yeah. Good to be here, sir.
Happy to be back.
Question about on-ramping. Gaz says, with the on-ramp, will it be available everywhere, as I do have trouble even trying to buy any crypto with fiat these days in the UK? So I'll show you the service I'm going to use, because I've already got an account set up with them. And not only that, but I think it's also probably the best service to use for this. So on-ramper is basically you guys are probably familiar with aggregation services when it comes to swapping and DeFi, right? So for example, if you go to 1inch to do your swap, if you're doing a huge swap, say I don't know, $100,000, even though PancakeSwap has the vast majority of liquidity, the aggregator is still going to split your trade up to make it so that you get the best result. Well, on-ramper is kind of a similar situation, but for on-ramping. So, I mean, it doesn't split your on-ramp up. It's not the same in that way. But what it does do is it looks at what country you're in and how much you're looking to buy. And it checks all the available options in terms of all the different on-ramping solutions that work in your country. And it's then going to give you the best option that's going to give you the best, the highest amount of crypto. So, and the reason I'm explaining all this, I guess, is indirectly it's answering your question that when you go to on-ramp through on-ramper, it's going to say, okay, you're in the UK, which options do you have available to you, right? And like, that's pretty much as good as we could possibly offer in terms of on-ramping. Like, I know it's not really a bulletproof solution, but I don't think there really exists a bulletproof solution right now for that. Like, I know, for example, in Canada, there might be numerous different on-ramping solutions, but depending on what company you bank with, or who your credit card's with, or if you have a Visa or MasterCard, some of them just have rules where they just won't process certain types of transactions. Right? Like, I know some institutions here let everything go through with crypto. Other institutions don't let anything go through with crypto, right? So there's some variables there that are outside of the control of on-ramping services. So I think having something like on-ramper is pretty much as good as we could possibly do there, but some people might still have some issues. That's not really much we can do about that. This is a game changer. Well done, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's and the fact it's coming together so quick, it's incredible, right? And it's, I talked about this a bit on the voice chat, but just the fact that we have, actually, let me just answer something real quick. How about off-ramping? Yeah, so I keep saying on-ramping, but these guys actually support both on-ramping and off-ramping, so we'll use this for both. Yeah, I mean, because of the fact that Alchemy is handling the security and the whole back end and the whole like account management, and I mean, I think I'm 99% sure they're actually even outsourcing it to another company where that's like their sole focus is, I think it's Turnkey is the name of the company, where they're the ones that are actually like controlling the private keys, or like basically controlling all aspects of the security and the actual like custodial of the everything that's required to make the smart account wallets work, right? So it's a super robust and production ready back end, and it just lets us build super quickly because we're, for the most part, just building the front end and building the different functionality and features into this without having to worry about the security side, because again, that's all offloaded to Alchemy. Another way to do this, like if we did this all in-house, I would have to spend an enormous amount of time on security because it's so critical to like, obviously keep all the, basically all the users' funds are at risk if it's not done properly, right? So it's not smart, I'd say, for the most part, to take that on in-house. So that's why we're not doing that. Bullish, yes, sir. Just transferred some book into BookSmarter, worked flawlessly. Yeah, it's we're trying to really make it as simple as possible to use and to understand. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Sounds good because there should be options. Thanks for answering. Yeah, so I mean, like I've used OnRamper before. Basically, it will show you different options, right? Because like I know, for example, sorry to talk about this too long, but but like I know with OnRamper, I might know for a fact that like, oh, this one processor, I have issues with them, but maybe like the next one, it's going to give me almost as much crypto, but I know that like I have a much higher success rate or a perfect success rate with the second one. So you can definitely pick which of the on-ramping backends you want to use with OnRamper. So yeah, definitely have some options there. Any chance of a debit card in the future? Something that I've looked into before. I know there's some services that you can get set up where you could have, well, this time's out pretty quick. There's some services you can set up where you can offer debit cards and have people, be able to access capital that way. But probably not something for the immediate future, but maybe longer term could look into it. If you have more than 10,000 book in the BookSmarter wallet, you can participate in the bus airdrop. Yep. Let's jump into that now. That's what I was just about to get into. So,
get your browsers ready, guys. Get that book sent over there.
The quick timeout is a good feature. Yeah, I mean it's once you're timed out, it's I mean this is your cash, right? This is your capital that's available in here if it's signed in. So yeah, I think that is actually quite a good feature. And I did have it sitting there for a couple minutes without doing anything, so that's why that happened. So basically, I've already explained kind of like the advantages of the smart wallet and like the direction that we're going with it. So something that we came up with to basically there's a lot of different reasons why we came up with this. But essentially what we're doing to kickstart the BookSmarter wallet and to get a lot of users into the wallet and giving us feedback on the wallet, we're running a promotion that basically is going to award our users with free bus tokens simply by holding book in your BookSmarter wallet. So to do this, all you need to do is just go to booksmarter.xyz, sign in with Google or an email account, although I'd suggest Google if you can. And then, once you're in, you'll have your smart contract wallet address here, which you can copy or you can grab the QR code. And you basically just need to send book into your wallet. And this is all managed and explained on the airdrop page. So this is a pretty intricate page with a lot of information. So for the fine details, I'd suggest you guys just go here and read through it. It's there's no documents for this. It's all basically right on the page, but you got, how it works, a little points calculator. You got a leaderboard, some advantages of the smart wallet, and frequently asked questions down here. So between all that, you guys should get the details to any of the finer detail questions you guys might have about this. But just to go over simply how it works is I've already registered on this wallet, but what you'll need to, the very first thing you'll need to do is when you get to the airdrop page, you'll see a register button down here. So only the first 200 people to click this button are going to qualify for the airdrop, right? So as soon as we're at 200 registered, all future users aren't going to be able to, basically get involved in this. So the first thing you want to do, everybody watching right now, is you want to go booksmarter.xyz and you want to sign up, basically sign in with Google and go to the airdrop page and press register. Once you're registered, all you need to do is just have book tokens in your wallet. That's it, right? So you can see here, actually just let me zoom in on this a bit. So you need a minimum of 10,000 book to accumulate points. If you have less than 10,000, you're not going to earn anything. And then 100,000 book is the maximum that you can earn. So you'll earn 100 points a day if you've got the maximum, and 10 points a day is the minimum you can earn, and basically anything in between there. So it's 1 point per 1,000 book, right? So if you have 50,000 book in there, you're going to earn 50 points a day. And this is something that we're calculating off chain. So at a random time every day, we're going to basically run a script that looks at the balances of all the registered users. It assigns points to the users, keeps track of everything in a leaderboard. And basically this is going to run for at least a week, but it's actually going to run. You're going to keep accumulating points until we've completed the BookUSD integration into the BookSmarter wallet. Because what that's going to do is it's going to let us demonstrate to you guys some of the advantages of the BookSmarter smart contract wallet. Because without any BNB in your wallet, you don't need any BNB. You're going to be able to claim your bus tokens, and we're going to batch that with depositing those bus tokens into bus staking in your smart account wallet. So essentially, we're just going to demonstrate some of the cool abilities of the wallet in that claim process, just so that you guys can all experience that as part of the airdrop. I thought that was a pretty cool way to tie in the features of the wallet with this cool promotion. So,
it is
what do you guys
pretty
think
cool
about that?
Yeah, I'm anxious to see this thing get going. So you say there's 15 out of 200 that are registered. As they register, so now we're up to 19.
Yeah, it's jumping.
Good.
And actually, this is cash, so it might actually be a little bit higher than that. Well, it's not cash for long. It's like a 30-second cash.
Wow, mine signed out quick.
Yeah, I'll see if I can tweak that. Although I think the timeout might be like at 2 or 3 minutes.
Hey, that's okay, because if I've got this up on my phone, I don't want to stay open very long.
Yeah, and like, what I love about this too is like whether you're using a Google account or a passkey, there's such seamless integration between like your desktop and your mobile, right? Like I can, whether I'm using passkey or Google, as long as I'm using like a Google account that I have on both devices, like I can use passkey, like your passkeys get automatically shared between your Google accounts. So it's like I can log in a second on either my phone or my computer, and it's just super seamless. So
I got to get a passkey set up. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think as long as you used a Google account to sign in or sign up, then it should prompt you to set up a passkey. So.
Yeah, but I'm serious, man. Leave it to where it signs out quick, because I'm notorious for putting my phone down and forgetting about it.
Yep. Yeah, and again, like everybody's saying, right? It takes only a second or two to sign back in, so it's probably better to keep it on the safe side.
And make sure to use your regular browser instead of the DG link because it can give some problems.
Yeah. So
okay, good.
Yeah. So if you open the wallet in Telegram, like within the Telegram browser, I've seen like the Google login fail. I think that might be because of pop-ups. So any browser, if you have pop-ups disabled, and again, I might change the login flow because I can switch it to like do redirects instead of a pop-up. But you don't really see it when I do it, so I just logged out. When I click Google, it's actually opening up a pop-up with a bunch of my Google accounts listed. So if you're using any browser that disables pop-ups, you probably need to enable pop-ups for this site for that to work. Airdrop, say what? Time to make a deposit. Yes, sir. Can we promote the wallet on some kind of crypto version of apps? Yeah, I mean, we're going to promote the wallet every way that we can. So the first huge one is going to be with Alchemy, right? Like Alchemy, I showed this on the voice call. I'll show it again here. Just go to alchemy.com. So, I mean, if you look at, this is the Alchemy main website, massive Web3 company, and you go to the first menu in their main menu, the very first thing they're talking about here is smart wallets, right? Like this is a huge emphasis of the whole industry and definitely of Alchemy, right? So this is exactly what we're using for BookSmarter. And I've already got an enterprise account with Alchemy. I pay them thousands of bucks every month. And I got a group chat with like 20 core guys from the Alchemy team that I'm in on Telegram, and they're super pumped about BookSmarter, and they can't wait to show this off to everybody, right? It's great marketing for them, right? They say they're trying to get as many people to use their back-end integration for smart wallets, smart accounts, and they can just say, hey, go check out booksmarter.xyz, and it's basically like a perfect demo that has like no barrier to entry that they can use to show off the capabilities. So I think I'm super pumped for what that's going to do to for raising awareness for Book. But yeah, we can, beyond Alchemy, we can definitely try to get it listed as many other places as possible. CC, what's up, buddy? CC says, I want to give props to the hard work put in by you and the community. Super challenging for us to all stay positive. Always, ultimately, we are family through it all. Book Nation forever. Yeah, man, it's couldn't have said it better myself. It's so true, right? Like the community is everything, and everybody being on the same page, everybody being aligned and understanding that Book is a forever project, and Book is going to moon, and it's going to moon a lot sooner if we're all working together and being on the same page. And I think everything that we're doing here with the smart account wallets and the constant voice chats, more communication, more building, more transparency, I think it's going to make us achieve those goals a lot sooner. Kev T says 100K book in the smart wallet. Let's go. Awesome, man.
Let's go, sir.
Michelle M. Hey.
Yeah, I know her.
I know her too. It's part of the reason that I was away for a bit of last week.
What kind of book are you reading? Well, what chapter is that?
Okay, just to clarify, she went on vacation, so I had to take care of a couple things because of that.
Oh, okay.
Just to
Good
clarify.
back out there, sir. I'm gonna go back and screenshot that reaction. Mix, I'll send it to you.
Fiat hater, what's up, buddy? He says, smooth as silk. All my book is stacked high in the new wallet. Cheers, Aaron. Who has that mic noise? I don't know. I don't hear anything. Maybe it's me. All book family here. Let's go. Stack those books. In the future, when swaps are available, what sort of gas would we need? It's a question for future, really.
Unleaded.
Yeah, so I mean, that is the beauty of the smart wallet, right? Like we as the protocol can fully sponsor transactions, right? So basically I can have it so the whole community never pays gas ever, and I just pay a bill at the end of the month for that, right? That's not a scalable solution forever, right? But there's all kinds of different controls I can put on that though, right? So I can say every user can get I don't know, like $5 worth of transactions sponsored, or I could say every user can get 10 transactions sponsored, and then they have to start paying it themselves. Like I could basically fine tune the controls on that as much as I want. And actually, something I learned about yesterday in my call with Alchemy is they're implementing something where we can use other tokens to cover gas, right? So like, for example, if the protocol is not sponsoring your gas, we could cover the gas for your transactions from, say, like book tokens that are in your smart wallet, or USDC that's in your smart wallet. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be BNB. It could be something else, right? So there's a lot of flexibility around that. Tried a couple of browsers and email accounts, keep getting a verification error when adding the verification code. That is odd. I mean, I typically sign in with Google, but I mean, I've definitely signed in with email a lot of times, and it works for me flawlessly every time.
If they're on Brave, click the lion's head, and there's a couple of pop-up blockers or whatever it is you got to turn off to be able to do it.
Although if they're using the straight email login and not Google, I don't think it involves any pop-ups.
Brave is finicky. That's the only reason why I'm saying that.
Let me try. Yeah, so if I just like throw in an email address here, yeah, there's no pop-ups involved with this part. And I'll just log in with this. So like, and I know some people have mentioned that it takes a while to get their code. Like, I mean, I get my code like within seconds every time. I got mine here.
All right, guys, that registration's ticking up. Good job. Keep it going.
Actually, while I'm in here, something else that's worth mentioning that Nick brought to my attention is if for those with a keen eye, you might notice that I have the same email address showing here as my Google account. When you log in with Google, Alchemy is using like a unique identifier from your Google account to track your user profile, right? So even when you're logged in with Google, the email address that it shows here is going to be your Google email address. But if you log in with the email method with that same email address, it's actually a separate wallet, right? So if you logged in with Google initially, you're going to want to keep logging in with Google. If you logged in with email initially, you're going to want to keep logging in with email, right? Like, unless you want to switch, but then you're going to have to transfer your assets because it's two separate wallets. So just something to keep in mind. And actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, it probably makes sense for me to put here like an indicator signed in with Google email address, right? Like, just to really indicate here, like if you're signed in with an email account or if you're signed in with Google, just to prevent confusion. So.
Oh, good. No problem getting the code. So that's working good.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Is this the same as like KYC error in the Google thing? Nope, not at all. So actually, I'm glad that you brought that up because that's something else that I wanted to talk about. So this is not like KYC at all. Like, basically what's happening here is you're signing in with Google, but you're using Alchemy fully for that sign in, or even if you're signing in with email, you're using Alchemy. So none of that information is basically shared with like Book or with myself or with, I don't know anybody's email address, for example, that signs up. This is all handled in the Alchemy backend. And the most I can see is like what your smart contract wallet address is, right? So it doesn't even show me anything when somebody signs up, but like when we sponsor a transaction, then I can see like the wallet address, right? So it's, it's kind of the opposite of KYC. Like I don't see anything, and it's all handled in the Alchemy backend. But yeah, no, it's not KYC. It's just a different way of getting set up with a crypto wallet with all the advantages that come with a smart contract wallet. Two-factor authentication coming for the wallet. Yep, that's something that Alchemy supports as well. So we're going to have two-factor authentication. And again, that's not something where we're going to handle the security. It's going to be handled fully by Alchemy still. So that's, as much as I have faith in myself to do things securely, it's a lot better and easier for me to say, hey, Alchemy is handling 100% of this, and I don't even have the ability to mess this up, right? So it makes it a lot easier for us to build things super quick and to add features really quickly. And yeah, definitely two-factor authentication is going to be coming.
That's really good. Like, that's really good.
Turned pop-up blocker off. Use Proton Mail because it will not work with Google email address. Yeah, like I personally use Office 365 for like my email solution. I don't use Gmail, but I know like they're super strict on sending like anything that's like remotely possibly spam, like to like spam boxes, or blocking it from me receiving it. And I know like even while playing with solutions like this in the past, I've often gotten those verification emails that didn't get delivered or went to my junk box. But the way Alchemy's got it set up, I get everything directly to my inbox like instantly. So they've definitely got it set up better than most other guys out there. But if you're having issues receiving emails, I could definitely forward the issues to Alchemy. I mean, I did just demonstrate it working flawlessly, so I'm not sure what might be different that's going on your end to make it not work. It should be super smooth. Maybe try a Google account. I mean, that's a bit of a path of less barrier. That's a weird way of saying that.
It's kind of weird today, but that's okay.
I like being weird sometimes.
So do I.
You all work so hard. Do you ever sleep? Yeah. It's overrated. Nah, I've been getting good sleeps lately.
Is 4 hours enough?
Hey, I got an AI helping me code a lot of this stuff now, so it leaves a lot of extra time for sleep. So
Good.
I'm just going to go refill my coffee real quick. I'll let you guys keep everyone entertained.
Just telling us sleep is overrated and getting up for coffee.
Yeah. Guys, get on there and get registered for this airdrop. It looks like you guys are starting to pile in pretty good here. Let's see. Where's the counter on this freaking thing? I know I
too high.
slung 100,000 book into it. Oh, that was quick, sir.
25 registered already.
Here we go. There it is.
We're gonna hit 200 in no time. So, and again, so just to talk about this again real briefly, the points are not going to accumulate until I run the automation, which basically like it's going to happen sometime after the 5 hours countdown is done. So you basically just want to have as much book into your smart account wallet up to 100,000 and hold it there for the entire duration of the promotion. And that's exactly how you maximize your rewards, which there is a topic down here about that. How do I earn maximum points? So I tried to cover the any questions you guys might have in the frequently asked questions, but if other questions come up here, I'll definitely add it to the frequently asked questions there so other people could see that in the future. And I guess one thing I didn't show you guys yet is so there's another page, and this is all going to be improved. This is, everything that you're seeing here is built in just the last couple of days. So, this is, in a week's time, this is going to be like much improved from where it is right now. But as you can see, for every token, you can click on it to get more info. You can see the price of it, how much it's moved in 24 hours, the chart, some basic information about it, and this is how you send book. So if you want to take book out of your smart contract wallet, you can send book with this. And then if you want to receive book or receive any of the supported tokens, you can use the information right here. So try to make that as easy as possible for you guys. And when we support swapping, that's something that's going to be accessible from within the token pages and various other places within the wallet. And the last thing that you can do for the moment is you can set your display name. So there is going to be a leaderboard that shows the points for the airdrop promotion. So you can see that I actually have my name showing here instead of a wallet address. So, and again, I'm on a separate wallet right now because I was just demonstrating the email login. I'll go back into my main one. So you can see here, I just set my display name to Crypto Aaron. So you can feel free to set that to whatever you want, and you can change that whenever you want. And that's what will show up in the leaderboard. So feel free to set that up, guys. And we'll be adding more functionality to basically all aspects of this as time goes on. And again, we're going to be having regular voice chats. So if you guys have any feedback or any features you'd like to see, or you have any, maybe you've tried to onboard a family member or friend into Book, and they had some kind of struggles, and you want to see that addressed in the smart wallet, well, let us know, and let's see how we can address that. Where's your lovely cat, Aaron? I put all the troublemakers away. I got just the boy out here with me, but he's sleeping right now. The troublemakers have been too loud lately, so I put them away before we got started. Just did a test, 10 Book, no problems. Yeah, it's all, as far as everything I've tested, it's all working super smooth, and the feedback I've gotten has been great. I think there's been the odd issue with logging in or signing up, but I think that's generally been like a pop-up issue or something else. But yeah, everything within the wallet's working super smooth, and we can trust Alchemy to keep everything safe and secure. So I think that's all I got for you guys in terms of the BookSmarter wallet. We got a bunch more topics that we're going to get into. Oh, we found a bug. Just a heads up, your airdrop date says it starts 27th of June 2024 instead of 25. Good eye. I'll fix that right after the AMA.
Future coin.
If I had my code editor open right now, I'd fix it right now. It's bugging me now. But yeah, no, I'll fix that right after. Good catch. Gaz says, I talk to people and it's been so difficult to explain to them how to invest, but BookSmarter is a changer. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's, once we have the on-ramping set up here and, all the other functionality of, being able to get involved in BookUSD in a single click or being able to swap in a single click, it's really going to be the whole solution under one roof. How many bus tokens per point? So this is explained in the frequently asked questions, but this is going to basically boil down to how many users participate, how much book all the users have, and how long the promotion runs for, right? So if it takes longer to implement BookUSD than what I think it's going to take, the promotion might be running for 2 weeks potentially, in which case people are going to have a lot more points, and the 100,000 bus reward pool stays static, so there's going to be less bus per point in that situation. But I think it's very likely that we have BookUSD integrated before that week even ends. But as mentioned on the page here, we will run the promotion for at minimum for a week, so you guys have ample opportunity to build up your points. Can you add a timer for the auto logout? Yeah, that's something that we should be able to add. I'll have to see how that's handled, because that's something that I didn't actually set up myself. That's handled by like the Alchemy framework. So I'll see what tools they expose that we could use to do something like that. $100K in wallet. Let's go. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be in that position soon. Actually, that kind of brings up the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was just kind of, I already touched on this very briefly, but just to go into a bit more detail about it. I think, for one, I think that we have something incredible already just with Book and BookUSD, right? BookUSD it's working great. It's shown that in times of, different supply and demand on different tokens, we've seen the book price, drastically change, and BookUSD handles it flawlessly. We've seen hundreds of thousands of dollars of BUD buys, and we've seen a lot of money of BUD sells, and we're still maintaining very close to the $1 peg. I think we're like 2.5 cents off right now, which is quite close. I mean, that's as close as it was really designed to be with our 1% swap fees and the redemption fee. Redemptions don't really make sense until it's cheaper than 97 cents. So, it's right in that zone that we're looking for. So, having, BookUSD, now having BookSmarter for easy user onboarding and all the other benefits that come with having a smart contract wallet, now having this promotion here, which, 200 users times 100,000 maximum book is 20 million book, right? So I know a lot of the guys that are participating in this are probably already have book, but there's going to be a lot of people that either maybe they sold their book, or their book is tied up in a trove, or they just have a better understanding of how bullish book is for the future and why you want to buy and hold book. And if you're buying and holding book, well, there's no better place to put it than in the wallet that's going to earn you points to get free tokens. So I think that we should and could see a lot of buy pressure come from this promotion, which, you know, it really just kicks off the whole bullish cycle of everything that can happen with book because of BookUSD, right? So you have, you know, when book goes up in price, you have guys that are more willing to borrow. So you have new troves being opened, you get more borrowing fees being generated. That makes Bus more desirable. Bus is super cheap right now. You know, we've had single days in the past that generated enough fees that would be like a 50% single day return for Bus staking, right? Based on the current Bus price and the current amount of Bus staked, right? Like let's actually pull that up. So we have less than $80,000 worth of Bus staked, right? So we used to have days all the time that were generating $10, $20, $30,000 of fees in a single day, right? So that's going to happen again, right? So like, just think of what that means if, you know, it only costs, say, $8,000 to have a 10% position in Bus staking right now, right? Like, that's wild to think that you could get 10% of all protocol fees for the low cost of $8,000 right now. Like, that's just wild. So, you know, there's no question in my mind that once, you know, well, first, before I even get into that, you know, even with the lower fee generation that we're doing right now, with a bit less borrowing activity, there's some fees coming in through redemptions. You know, Bus is still paying over like 1% a day for the last couple of days, or like I think when I looked at it, like if you averaged it out in the last week, it's averaging more than 1% per day, right? I know that's less than what it shows here, but that's because, again, borrowing activity has been a lot lighter in the last week than it has typically been in the past. But it really is a good indicator of, you know, what you can expect of Bus staking in the future. And I think this, just because we've had a couple weeks now of a bit lower borrowing activity than what we experienced before that's really dragged this historic APR down. And I think that this is due to bounce, right? And although keep in mind that this APR is based off of the current Bus price and the current amount of Bus staked, right? So with Bus right now trading at, you know, just a hair under 5 cents, you know, when the Bus price spikes, this APR will go down drastically. But at the same time, when borrowing activity picks up, it's going to push that APR right back up. So, but again, like, I don't want to get too technical or too much into the weeds here, but if you buy your Bus at these low prices, it doesn't really matter what the Bus price goes to or what the APR shows in the future, because the APR is always showing based on what the price of Bus is at that moment. So if you lock in, say, a couple $1,000 of Bus right now, and the Bus price goes 5x to 25 cents, the APR is going to show, you know, 1/5 of what it's showing right now, but you locked in your Bus at the cheaper price. So that APR changing doesn't really impact you, right? Because you already locked in your Bus at that lower price. I hope that makes sense.
And the APR of the stability pool will ramp up a lot if the price of Bus raises, which incentivizes borrowing more and staking in the stability pool and just creating the cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, like, so like the next part of the cycle is, you know, when Bus is generating more fees, like Bus staking generating more fees, then you have the Bus price going up, and we already have like what I believe to be the highest paying stablecoin staking in the whole space, right? Like at 134% on the stability pool. That's only going to go up as the Bus price goes up, right? So like, again, if you look at Bus doing like a 5x to 25 cents, which is very, very likely, and, you know, I think it can go further than that, you know, that instantly 5x is the APR, right? So we're back at 600, 700%, which is just crazy, right? And then when we're back at 600, 700%, what do? You get people that want to buy BUD to invest in the stability pool. What does that do? It pushes the price of BUD up. And now you got guys that say, hey, I can borrow BUD and sell it for over peg and buy more book with it, right? And it creates this great cycle that we already saw in our first run up. And I mean, it might have happened a little bit too aggressively in that first run up, which then obviously led to the price, you know, severely correcting. But, you know, I think now we're just in a much better shape. Like, we have a lot of these guys that were holding millions and millions of tokens that were causing us sell pressure. a lot of them are either down to very few tokens left or they got no tokens left, right? So all that sell pressure that we faced in the past, those tokens got, distributed out to a lot more holders now, right? They're not a lot of those. There's still some guys that have a lot of tokens, but if you look at the history, they're not the problem guys, right? They're the guys that have actually been accumulating this whole time. And a lot of the guys that have been selling, if you really look at the analytics, you'll see that those guys are either out of tokens or they have very few left. So we're really set up for exactly where we need to be for the next leg up. Scoop up some book while it's cheap. Great advice right there. Very good advice. Let's quickly check on how the airdrop's looking. Yeah, we're up to 32 registered users already. Awesome stuff. And don't forget, when you guys register, you also got to transfer book into your wallet, just as a heads up. All right, let's see what else we got to cover today. Anything you guys want to add about anything that we've talked about so far?
I think, Aaron, something to drive home on this BookSmarter wallet is it's getting past the onboarding curve that a lot of people have difficulty with. All you need is an email address, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because after that, I mean, you're in. You touched on it earlier, but it's just all you need is an email address, period.
Yeah, and to have a secure Alchemy-backed production like crypto wallet with such a simple login, it really is huge, right? Like, and again, it's hard for a lot of us, I think, to relate to that because we've been in crypto for so many years. We've been doing this day in, day out for so many years that we just overlook the fact of there's a huge barrier to entry for new users. But when I can tell a friend or a family member, hey, just go to booksmarter.xyz, sign up, maybe I'll even send them a couple books just to get them started, right? Like, or it just makes it so much easier to get new people involved. Yeah, it's going to be huge for us.
Well, and this is going to help reach out to the older generation, ages 50 to 80, because now even my mother, who's still a book holder, can sit down with her friends because they know how to sign in with Google to pay a bill. So, I mean, that's where it's going to be like, oh, that's all we do? Okay.
Yep. And again, like a great strategy with book is just to buy and hold. That's really all you need to do. Like, I mean, obviously we got other stuff going on in the ecosystem for those that are more advanced or that want to play around with more things. But I mean, really all you need to do is buy book, hold it. That's something that you can do with ease with the BookSmarter wallet. And it's something that you can easily get your friends and family into with the BookSmarter wallet, right? Just super simple. Go there, sign up, you're good to go. Secure, no seed phrases to worry about. Older, speak for yourself.
Hey,
I mean, I think there's people of all ages that could just use some simplicity, right? It's we're not discriminating. It's for everybody. I mean, like, I'll be honest, like even like just for checking the price of book, like if I'm on my phone, it's just so easy to just pull up BookSmarter and just, I just see everything right on the homepage, right? Oh, okay, book. That's how book's doing. That's how bus is doing. That's how bud's doing. I want to see the chart. Okay, there it is. Right. This really could be the hub for all things book, right? And this could even expand in the future to be all things BNB or even multi-chain in the future, right? And but having book be the center of this, and the more users that we can get into this, the better, right? And we can keep leveraging that to promote book or promote the different aspects of the book ecosystem. Or there's so much that we can do with this, but obviously we're just going to keep ourselves focused at first, and everything's going to be focused around book at first, and all the integrations related to the book ecosystem and on-ramping and swapping and zapping into staking positions, and it's very exciting stuff. I admire you guys for what you've built and building. Great stuff. Yeah, and it seems like the community really loves when we're in build mode. So, and the voice chats have been a huge success so far. So, I'm gonna keep plugging away. And again, you guys can see what's been built in just a couple days here. So, I'll stay in build mode and I'll keep building. And let's all just be bullish together and keep spreading the good word about book. But yeah, so next thing I want to talk about is I just want to touch real briefly on why we don't have a whale chat, right? And this is, I've had some people like mention whale chats, and obviously we had that indirect whale chat with MSS that was not official, and don't really want to talk about that. But, I don't think that a book needs a whale chat, and I think it's actually more productive and healthy to not have a whale chat. And just for anything that I'd want to tell a whale, I should be willing to tell the whole community, right? Like somebody that just because they have a bigger position, it shouldn't put them in an advantage over the rest of the community, right? And I think that's really important. I think it's important to be fair to all members of the community, regardless of the size of your bag. Now, having said that, what I do think is productive, though, is I think it's productive for core team members, like largely like myself and the two guys that I got on the call with me here, Nick and Peter. I think it's important to have a direct line with some of our key investors, right? So if you are an investor that has, say, 1 million, 2 million book or more, I'd love to have a direct line of communication with you. So, if you want to shoot me a DM and say, hey, I love book, I've been supporting book, or I'm new to book and I'm just starting to support, I'd love to have that direct line of communication with you so that if you ever do have concerns or questions, you can get an answer directly from the team, right? Instead of, whatever other means of getting information you might have, right? So, and I think that would be super productive. So I'd definitely love to get a direct line with, there's a lot of wallets that have been accumulating book, and, through the different price movements, what are they doing? They're just buying more book, just like I'm always buying more book. And these are the guys, like, I want to be your friend. Let's talk, right? Let's set up that direct line of communication, and let's take book to the next level. But that's very different again from a whale chat, because I don't think having a group of a few privileged people is beneficial to the entire community. So agree, chat is just ego chat. Yep. I like no whale chats. Hey, we're all going to be whales with book, right? So there's no need to split up the community and say, hey, you're a high worth guy, you're not a high worth guy. No, if you're on board with book, you're high worth in my eyes, right? That's all that matters. Kev T says, could consider a Galaxy promotion for BookSmart wallet. Can onboard a few thousand users from there, especially get some free book tokens from the smart wallet. Yeah, that's actually something I've considered. I do have a paid Galaxy space. It's Bomb branded from when I was running Bomb, but it's got huge traction. So it actually would be pretty easy, as long as I don't mind like creating the promotion from the Bomb Galaxy space. We could get huge traction on that. And I think it's actually to give away some book tokens, and some people might not agree with this. Like I feel that like the minimal amount of sell pressure that might come from that is well worth it to get thousands or hundreds of thousands potentially of people to become aware of book that maybe wouldn't have heard about book if it wasn't for like a Galaxy promotion. So I mean, I think there's definitely something that we can do with Galaxy. Actually, maybe I could show you guys just for those that aren't familiar with it. It's been so long since I've been there, I can't even see in my, usually the Bomb page would be brought right up. But yeah, I mean, if you guys look at this, so like I'm the owner of this, we have almost 340,000 followers. We're like in the top 100 spaces on Galaxy. So, we've had promotions in the past that have had like huge participation. I mean, these are all over, most of these are over 1,000, but if I go down a bit, there's like 178,000 there, 260,000. Some of them had tighter requirements, so they have less, but 240,000 participants. So yeah, we can definitely leverage this to promote BookSmarter. I mean, I'd love to do it in like a book branded Galaxy account, but that's a big hill to climb when we have already 400,000 followers on this one, so, or 340,000. So yeah, maybe it makes sense to do like a bomb book collab. It could be branded as, right, just to kind of explain the fact that it's using the Bomb space. But yeah, we could definitely give away some book tokens and get a ton of awareness from that. Good idea. We have so much to raid with now. What should we be doing? Promoting shilling? BookUSD, BookSmarter? That's a great question. I think Dennis actually has a great answer. All of it.
All of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's depending on what you're raiding, right? Like, so you're responding to a tweet typically with the raid. I think like you can align your response and like what you're talking about based on like what the original tweet's about. If the original tweet has nothing to do with any of the things that you just mentioned, then basically you could just choose whatever you think is good to talk about. I mean, BookSmarter, we have the promotion running right now, so it's probably like it's the most time sensitive thing, I guess, out of all three. But it's also like the least developed. Book is fully mature. BookUSD is fully mature. BookSmarter is still getting a bunch of its core features added to it. So yeah, I mean, I guess just take that information as you like, and decide what you want to talk about in your tweets. So I don't have too much more to talk about. I did want to just briefly touch on redemptions, because I've heard some concerns from a couple select community members, with some strong opinions about redemptions, and I just kind of wanted to talk about that. I did already kind of talk about this a bit earlier in the AMA, but it's important to understand that BookUSD has a lot of moving parts. And it's kind of easy from like a user perspective to draw conclusions on what you like about BookUSD, what you don't like about it, or what you see as a problem in BookUSD. But again, you really need to look at the whole picture when analyzing these things, right? So the issue or question that got raised to me is, and it's almost word for word, is redemptions are happening too often. Something needs to be fixed to slow it down. Well, again, BookUSD has a lot of moving parts. It has 3 different tokens that are involved. You have BUD, you have BUS, and of course you got Book. And the whole premise of BookUSD is the stablecoin, over collateralized stablecoin, right? Over collateralized stablecoin doesn't mean anything if you can't actually take that stablecoin and get the underlying assets in return for it, right? So anything that could be changed to fix redemptions would essentially break the entire core of the protocol, right? Like if you obviously there's no denying that redemptions have been happening a little bit more in the last week or two versus like the first month of the protocol. But you have to understand that where does the BUD come from that's being redeemed? There's only a couple sources, right? Guys are not borrowing BUD to redeem. That makes no sense. So it's basically 100% guys that have swapped to BUD, right? So this is either someone that says, okay, the peg is low right now, so I'm going to buy BUD and do a redemption. Well, that can't happen forever because eventually the peg gets high enough where you lose money doing that, right? And we've already made a change to redemptions where if BUD is over 99 cents, it doesn't even let you do a redemption. Right, so we've already addressed that in the best way or the only way that really makes sense to. So, if guys are buying BUD and doing redemptions, eventually the BUD peg gets to the point where you can't do that anymore because the BUD peg is too high. Or if you take an investor that jumped into BUD by swapping to BUD earlier on, well, maybe if they want to exit their position and the BUD peg is low, well, maybe they're going to do a redemption instead of swapping out of their BUD. But that ends when they run out of BUD. This doesn't happen forever, right? So it's something where everything evens out and balances out in the end. Anyone that is selling BUD or anybody that's redeeming BUD, they bought that BUD at some point, right? So it's something where, again, it can't happen forever. It's perfectly healthy. And this is some of the intricate systems that are in play to make sure that everything works and is healthy and sustainable, despite what might be happening in regards to like supply and demand on various aspects of the BookUSD protocol. So I hope I did a good job explaining that. I could definitely go into more detail about it, but we've already been on the AMA for quite a while, and I've already talked about redemptions a couple times throughout the AMA. So happy to answer any more detailed questions about it, either in this AMA, in a voice chat that we'll have soon, or in the Telegram and regular TG style messages. But the main thing that I really want to push is, and the main message I really want to deliver to you guys is, we need to all be on the same page, right? We need to all be bullish on book, buy and hold book, participate in BookUSD if you want, participate in BookSmarter if you want, but we just all need to be bullish on book, right? And that's really all that we need, right? Like, us as a team, we've already thought of a lot of these things, and we've already designed all these things based on having a very in-depth understanding of how these things all work, right? So when you have people that are starting to say, hey, this is broken, this needs to change, that's not doing anybody any help, right? That's just doing harm. You're putting doubt in people's minds for no reason. It's not healthy for anything, right? Like, if you're not bullish on book, I don't understand why you wouldn't be bullish on book, but like, simply like, see you later, right? Like, we just want a group of, people that believe in book, because we know what book can become in the future, right? And that's really all that we need, right? Let the team take care of the intricate inner workings of the protocol, and the community's job is to be bullish about book and tell your friends about book and to raid, right? And like, all these different things, right? Like, obviously we want feedback, right? I'm not saying we don't want feedback. I always want feedback. I always want ideas. And a lot of the best things I've implemented in crypto has been ideas that I've gotten from the community, right? This is, I don't want people to think that I just instantly turn down ideas or I don't even consider it. But, I always love hearing ideas. But, there's productive ideas, and then there's ideas that come from the wrong source, where it's like, having the wrong perspective on something and trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. It doesn't help anybody, really, right? So just wanted to get that off my chest.
I think you worded it very well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's
sir.
It's critical, right? Like, it's just important, like, to say what Bank Teller always says: we got to row together, right? And that is truly all that we need to do, right? We need everybody to be on the same page. We're going to be constantly building. We're going to be constantly doing voice calls, voice chats, and Telegram. We're doing our weekly AMAs. We're going to keep iterating on things, keep improving things, keep taking community suggestions, and just keep making things better until we all win. And then we're going to start winning even more after that, right? That's all there is to it, right? Like, it really is super simple, guys.
Yep.
We are so lucky to be in BookUSD. You will realize that in 6 to 12 months, we will laugh at these book prices. 1,000%. Dennis really gets it, guys. Bullish on book. Appreciate the long AMA today. You bet, buddy. Had to make up for missing last week, so.
Biggest obstacle, Aaron, was to onboard new users. Now all you need is an email address, period.
Yep. Let's, I guess, I don't have too much more for you guys, but happy to field any questions, or not sure if Nick or Peter, if you guys have anything else to say, but let's jump in and see how our airdrop registrations are looking.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, the community asked for an airdrop for a while. That's pretty cool. You're bringing that. That's going to definitely, I know we got some airdrop junkies in the audience, so that'll be good.
Yep,
32.
We're up to
Yep.
32, and we're going to get out an announcement all about this. I was just holding off on the announcement until after we kind of presented it to everybody. So yeah, me and Nick will put together a nice bullish announcement about the airdrop program, and yeah, hope to see you guys all in, earning some free bus tokens and playing around with the smart wallet and providing feedback, and yeah, let's take book to the next level.
Once 200, that's it, no more, right?
Yeah, and that's 200 registrations, right? So like that, not necessarily everybody's going to deposit book. I mean, hopefully most people that register will add book to their wallet, but literally the first 200 people to register and press to sign up and press register here, once that hits 200, it's done. So
okay, good.
Hey, our pleasure, Dennis. Thanks everyone for joining. We've been slowly building up viewers. We're up to 136 now. Awesome stuff.
I'll answer this comment, Aaron.
Okay.
This right here, yes, we do have a positive approach. You got to be positive because no one wants to come into a negative community. thing of it is, and what I meant earlier by older users or people that are non-tech coming in, they have to have an easier way to onboard, and that is the whole base premise of this wallet, to be able to onboard easily. All you need is an email address, period. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you need.
100%. And like something else that's worth mentioning too is like, if you look at metrics, you know, I talked about this on the voice call, I think yesterday or the day before, but if you look at like metrics of YouTube views, like if you look at like the top 100 crypto channels and you look at like aggregated views across those top 100 channels, we're at quite a low point in those charts right now, which basically means like retail is not really looking for things to invest in. So the fact that we are holding as strong as we are, that we have, you know, we've had our holder count has been, you know, bouncing between 1,400 and 1,500. You know, there's been people that have exited. There's been new people that have joined. That's perfectly healthy, right? Like a lot of our big holders that were suppressing the price are now out of book, which is super bullish, right? A lot of the guys that sold their book because they lost faith for whatever reason, I mean, for one, that's a huge mistake. Let me just put that out of the way. But, you know, when they start seeing the price move back up, these guys are all going to jump right back in, right? So it's, you know, and again, like, I'm not sure where you get the idea that it's all the same holders holding the floor, right? That's just a comment that's not productive. And I'm sure there's not much fact behind that comment, but, you know, we're doing what we can, and, you know, we're raising awareness every way that we can. We've, you know, spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars on marketing. We're seeing what works, what doesn't work. We're continuing to build. We're continuing to be vocal with you guys. And yeah, I mean, we're just doing everything that we can to be in the best position possible for once, you know, retail is jumping back in, once alt season kicks off, and once things are just more bullish in general for the crypto space, which I'm sure is right around the corner. The minute total crypto market cap reverses, our liquidity will naturally rise. We're undervalued with a strong narrative. Yep, 100%, man. Well said.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm not sure if we'll do a voice call tomorrow in Telegram. I'll see if there's any big developments that are worth talking about, but we'll definitely have at least 2 next week. So if you guys missed the voice calls, we'll try and schedule them in advance just so that you guys can see them early and be prepared for them. We have been doing them 2 hours earlier than our usual AMA time. So our AMA time is like 1800 UTC. We'd set those 2 voice calls up at 1600 UTC. We might play around with that just to see like what time is more ideal for people, just to get more involvement, or we might even just do different times, different days, so that, you know, we can just kind of accommodate more people's schedules. So yeah, we'll see next week what times make the most sense to get those going, and yeah, hopefully I can see you guys there. And, you know, definitely don't be shy in those voice calls, right? That's, you know, the more conversation that we have in those Telegram voice calls, the more fun they are, and the longer that, you know, we'll be able to keep them going. So.
All right.
I got a question here. Is there a timeline to add the on-off ramp to the wallet? So this is a pretty easy thing to add. And it's one of like the 3 super important features. So there's not like a direct timeline, but I'd say within the next week to 2 weeks for sure. All right, let's give it another 10, 20 seconds, see if any other questions come in. But yeah, I guess while we wait for that, I'll just make it super clear what those 3 features are. So like the 3 main features that I think BookSmarter needs to really be like an, you know, everything that you need under one roof is, we need the on-off ramp abilities, we need the ability to swap, and we need the BookUSD integration. So those are the 3 main things we're working on. Then we can work on other stuff after that. But those 3 must be first. Dennis says, sorry, I must go now to buy more book. 100%.
Grab safe.
Oops. All right, guys. So I think that's all the questions that we got. So Gaz says, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. You as well, Gaz. And everybody else in the community, thanks. We got 142 people watching now. So once again, just to reiterate, booksmarter.xyz. Everybody can participate. Go there, set your wallet up with Google or your email account. And once you're in, you can just click on the little button here for airdrop, view airdrop, or you can click airdrop in the corner. or on the menu. And yeah, go ahead and you'll have an option here to register, and all the information's right on the page. So yeah, let's hit that 200 registered today. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Nick, you having fun yet?
Yeah, man. Of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, Aaron.
Actually, Gaz has a good idea.
Huh?
Gaz had a good idea here. He said post the link again. So let's send that one more time. Oh, oops. I was just about to send smartbooker.xyz. That's not it.
Aaron, I'll actually post it in the standard comments for the live once it finishes processing.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I was about to send out the wrong name there. On-off ramp critical for newbies. Yep, definitely agree.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and see you guys in the voice chat next week, and see you guys on next week's AMA.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Register for the airdrop. Very important. If you want free money, gee.
Once that hits 200, it's over.
All right.
All right,
Take care,
guys. Bye. See you next week.
Yep. See you guys.